war on the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
No executive has ever suffered because his subordinates were strong and effective. By Peter Drucker. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. And with that quote from Nelson Mandela the Great, Madiba, I welcome you to ATN Politics. ATN Politics is Atlantic Television Network's flagship program that discusses core political trends with relevant political stakeholders. And today on ATN Politics, we will be discussing core issues from different political
are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late.
front lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water, and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats, and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women, and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809 233 3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on Atn Politics today. Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought a
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on Atn Politics today. Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they want.
I have fought a very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
Good to have you back on ATN Politics, right here on Atlantic Television Network in the great political city of Port Harcourt. I remain your host, Raymond Ken Mbata, and my guest today is the head of Department of the Political Science, Ignatius Auxiliary University of Education, Rumolumeni, Port Harcourt here, and also, with the icing on the cake, the paramount ruler of Rumevolo community in the Rumokuta clan of Apara Kingdom. I'm talking of no other than Eze Dr. Chris Akane. It's a pleasure having you on ATN Politics, sir.
Thank you very much.
As the Queries say in this part of the world, make us, sir. Make us, sir. Dearly, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And now, without taking any much of your time, let's head to the first story for today's discussion. Minister of State for Defense, Bello Muhammad Matawale, has challenged Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal to swear by the Holy Quran to prove his innocence in the ongoing banditry accusations ravaging the state. In an interview, Matawale, who is the former governor of Zamfara State and the current Minister of State for Defense, called on anyone with evidence linking him to the aiding bandits to come forward with proof. He further defended his dialogue with bandits, pointing out that other governors, including those of Sokoto, Niger, and Katsina states, had also negotiated with bandits to prevent the collapse of their respective states. He stressed that, unlike others, he took a bold step by swearing an oath of innocence before God, challenging politicians like General Ali Gusau and Governor Dauda to do the same. However, he claimed that
President Buhari was there. Almost all the people within the realm of intelligence were all Fulani people. So how do you think that Fulani will kill Fulani?
Very true.
So we shouldn't take it as a germane thing, as something from the blue. It's something that has been happening, what I call a hackneyed thing that every person knows. But because of the complacency of the government, because of the lack of political will of the government to protect, to do their primary duty as a state, to protect the life of the people and their property. So the Nigerian state has failed to do that. So blaming this person is part of them, the other person is not part of it, it's neither here nor there. The reason is that the state has failed because they have been unable to feature the compromisers of this thing. And also, those at the forefront, the avant-garde, as I would say. And this is why we are like this. And any state that has failed to fulfill this primary function of securing its citizens is not only an irrelevant state, but a state that has started giving the signal of what I call a failed state. So it will not be out of state, out of place, sorry, for me to say that the Nigerian state has failed.
Okay, sir, being a man of the gown And the gown and the town has to be able to have this synergy. The academia is the place for the solutions of the problem of the society. Being a don, and also in the Department of Political Science, how can we be able to divorce the politicians in Nigeria from non-state actors to the detriment of the people?
That is a very important question. I was discussing with some of my colleagues. You see, there's now a serious dichotomy, and the dichotomy is widening every day. That there's a great difference between our theory, which you report to the students, and the practice, what they see, because of the emergence of what I call politicians that are so much interested in primitive accumulation of wealth. In other political environment, when you are called a politician, it's an equation of being a statesman. And when you are a statesman, you are accorded that respect. That if you go to US, there are some sections of of a lorry or a big car where they write statesmen only or elders only. But here, any vagabond can be a politician. Any person who didn't see the four walls of Western education institute can be a politician. And because of that, in political science, we have rules and regulations. We have morals. And that is why we say politics is the struggle for power. After the struggle for power, because it's a struggle, the science of politics envisages that there will be some kind of, we're all humans, use of violence and all that. Then, in this case, we introduce what you call electoral law. Like the Nigerian Electoral Act of 2022. The law regulates how you are going to campaign, where you will do what you are going to do. And if you go to our constitution,
yes, sir,
which is the ground norm of our constitution, section 153 specifies the creation of National Electoral Commission. In part 1, third schedule of our 1999 constitution as amended, it is there you see the functions of this body. Voter and civic education, promoting sound, underlying sound democratic electoral process, organizing elections for positions, governor, president, deputy governor, senate, house of reps, and also very important, regulating the political parties, because you cannot have an electoral process which will.
Sir, how can the gown assist in giving political parties?
That is what I'm telling you. That is what I'm telling you. The thing has been stated. Papers have been written. Books have been written on how these things should be followed.
Okay.
If you look at the Electoral Act, it tells you what the INEC should do. In fact, INEC should, from every year, look at the finances of the parties, audit them, and publish. Regulate their electioneering utterances.
Exactly, sir.
And that is why those of us in the academia, we write and emphasize. Our emphasis is on free and fair election. And to have a free and fair election doesn't mean that the announcement, during the announcement, there was no problem. The processes of the election, if the processes are flawed, the end result will be flawed. So, we are not in the field. Our own is just as political scientists to design character through our conduct, through our speeches, through our books and journals, read our journals. And that was the main point of our Senate today.
Okay.
How can our students be good ambassadors of Ignatius Anjorin University of Education? Because it's like the parable of a sower.
Yes.
You tell these students, teach them, not all of them will become politicians. Not all of them will become journalists. Yes. But what we are saying is that as we are going, the university have given you a charge to become good ambassadors of the university. But today, what we are getting is a bastardization of what we have taught in the university. A good example is the election. So the academia, they've been trying their best. I have not said that they are saints. Okay, you can see one or two bad eggs.
Okay, sir. Let me delve also to the traditional angle of things.
Yes.
I want to know your opinion concerning the role of the traditional institution as a fourth tier of government in Nigeria. Would it help also in taking care of this insecurity that we are witnessing in different parts of Nigeria, sir?
Yeah, ordinarily, you said traditional rulers as a fourth tier. Yes, the politicians, do they agree?
Sir,
they don't agree.
There have been propositions for that.
Yes, they don't agree. I have said this for over a time. I want to repeat it. As a traditional ruler, even of a first-class status, it is very difficult for you to call a local government chairman and he will come. Because as a traditional ruler, you are the bastion of the custom and traditions of that community.
Exactly.
And you almost know every person by their names in the community. So if government wants to fish out elements that are brewing insecurity, they should fall back to the traditional ruler.
Exactly, sir.
But when the local government, which is a nursery of democracy, they don't recognize you. They don't know whether you exist. Especially when they have the suspicion that you are not partisan, or in their own perception, you are supporting one party or one candidate or the other.
In politics.
And I've said it several times. The nature and character of Nigerian politics is such that our political water is polluted and very hot. So I advise all traditional rulers, don't dabble into political waters. In my community at Lumebolo, I have members of Labour Party, PDP, APP, and APC. When we are having our monthly meeting, they are there. And when I'm judging any case, they are there. When we are having an election, or when I'm appointing the CDC members, they are there. Their obligate code is rooted in the community. Even when parties come for hall to do their campaign, I tell my chairman, the chairman of the community, any party that comes, let them fulfill our regulations. Bring a bottle of drink, palm wine, allow them. Because the existence of a political party are of immense benefit. They create employment, they create awareness, and all those things. So give every party equal participation as recorded in the Electoral Act. But there are some traditional rulers who are partisan. Their own is open. But remember, there is a difference between political partisanship in terms of political party and paying loyalty to the government in power. Okay. As a traditional ruler, just like a civil servant, you are bound to respect the party in power. Exactly. It's just like we have a party in Abuja. Yes. We have a president, and we have a governor in Rivers State. It will be foolhardy of any traditional ruler to say you cannot respect the governor, whether it's a goat, a cow, anything. Yes, sir. Because you are there to assist him, ensure that there's governance, or what you call governments at the grassroots. Exactly. So traditional rulers are supposedly, as you said, yes, sir, the fourth arm of government, but they're not recognized. And this is why crime keep on compounding. This is made worse by the fact that there's no constitutional provision. Yes, sir. Unlike the different 1989 Constitution, Section 8 talked about establishment of traditional council in the Constitution, but it didn't go in every local government. You also remember that in April 24th, 1964, there was what we call Obio Urban Council. It was instituted in that period, and with elected councillors, but there were 5 chiefs who were members of the council, and they could participate in the proceedings, but they could not vote. So their presence gives the traditional authority a sense of belonging. When they go back to their place, they will call their people and tell them what is happening. And also, if there are areas of marginalization, they should be able to tell the government, unlike the elected councillors who are into political game. So this is why Nigeria is like this, and people have been clamoring. The state
can I also bring us back also to River State? Concerning this tussle between Matawale, the Minister of Defense, at the top, at the center, and his prodigy, being Dauda Lawal of Zamfara State. They are almost a similar situation with the FCT minister and the governor on seats here, sir. And we have not been able to see the impact that the elders have made to try to douse the tension and also even push for reconciliation within these two elephants per se. Do you have a suggestion? Do you have a solution, sir? Do you have an opinion, sir, concerning the present rift between the former governor and the present?
I will address it immediately.
Okay, sir.
If not that you asked me, I wouldn't have said anything, because Ikwere people used to say, the market I did not know when it started. I will not know when it was over.
Yes.
But for the purposes of our viewers, I will tell you that the nature and character of Nigerian politicians is in such a way that they are only ignited, moved, they only worship the process of primitive accumulation of wealth. Instead of service being the only motive of going into politics, their motive is accumulation of property. In that case, they are harmonious. But in this process, I'm explaining to you as a political scientist. I'm not a 1787, which is the older constitution. We have had many constitutions right from 60, 63, 79, 89, up to now. What you call the 1999 constitution is a refurbished part of 1979 constitution, which was well done under the military, but civilians participated. I know that my uncle, Chief Dr. Biwale, was a member of the Constituent Assembly and also a member of the a group that presented the constitution and defended it. Apart from the Constitutional Conference, those who were appointed, there was another Constituent Assembly and other people, Odoma, all of them were the people that first the constitution. Now we have the 1999 constitution. Do you know how many amendments that constitution has gone? But let me tell you, there are salient provisions of that constitution. If we implement it, Nigeria will be good. And I will tell you.
Okay, sir. Section
1, I mentioned the supremacy of the constitution. The constitution, as I said, is the principal law. From which other laws are derived. Any law that is made inconsistent with the 1999 constitution will be null and void to the extent of its inconsistency. So the electoral law is derived, and all of that law made by the National Assembly. Made section 1. Section 14, which takes care of our diversity. The fact that nature has brought us as an Ikwere man, as a Hausa man, Fulani man, Yoruba man, in diversity. And that constitution from section 4 really down up to 2B, it says either the state or the federal level, when you are picking your commissioners or your ministers, you should do well to reflect the federal character, to promote unity. Today, is it being done? Again, look at Section 16 as I mentioned. Section 16 knows that Nigeria is sitting on a reservoir of wealth. And those who framed it had at the back of their mind equity, fair distribution of resources. And that was why they said the material resources of this country should be harnessed and distributed to serve the purpose of the common good. What other thing do you need again? Then session say something or bring any document. As I am now, National Assembly can call me. But the last National Assembly, they invited the president. He refused to come. And they didn't say anything. Do you blame the Constitution? Today, there's a seamless marriage between the National Assembly and the executive. To the extent that even the executive is now superior to the National Assembly. Section 4 says the National Assembly is in charge of legislating laws. And anywhere they are not, there is no democracy. It is the National Assembly that complements the arms of government to make it democratic.
Okay, sir.
In other words, they are superior to make laws and to check the executive.
Exactly.
But they are now an insignificant extra the executive.
Yes, sir.
So this is why I quarrel to people. Implement the Constitution.
Okay, sir.
The American Constitution, which I said is not to 200 years, they're only making short amendments. Look at the First Amendment, talks about freedom of the press. Look at the 19th Amendment, talks about gender equality, women to vote. In fact, let me say it about
what? So for want of time,
yes.
For want of time, but
Yes.
please, I want to plead with you, sir. You are a juggernaut, a political heavyweight, so far as political ideology is concerned, sir. Please, I want to plead on you to come again next week, sir. Same time next week, because we can't have enough of you just for this first season.
It's okay,
please.
No problem.
Please, we have been picking the brains and the analysis of Dr. Chris Akane. He is the head of Department of Political Science in Ignatius Ajuru University of Education, and also the paramount ruler of Rumevolo community in Rumukuta clan of the Apara Kingdom of Rivers State in Nigeria. We are blessed to have such brains behind our political development in Nigeria, and you have to take advantage of this medium to make sure that you can learn from these colossus. But from Atlantic Television Network, we want to say thank you, sir, for making time for us today, sir.
Thank you.
And we believe that same time next week, we are going to gather and hear much more from you again, sir.
Yeah, I will come.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
And from your host, Raymond Kenimbata, I say time moves fast when we are learning very well, when we are having fun in politics, Atn Politics. This is where we wrap it up. Make sure you connect us on Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, or watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Until we come your way same time tomorrow on Atn Politics, stay tuned.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today. Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what
I have fought a very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war.